When I think about the conversations that we have with our clients and prospects and take a look at the topics that are relevant to the people that we interact with in the business world, I don't know if there is any topic that is more relevant, that is more timely than the subject of cyber liability and data breach protection. We are going to do a very brief, quick hits sort of series here on our website, YouTube channel. I don't know where you're watching this from. It's one or the other. A lot of our videos are a little bit more in-depth, somewhere between 4 and 10 minutes worth of discussion on a subject. A lot of people have said, hey, have you considered putting, a quick hit sort of thing out there, 2 minutes or less, where I can just pop in, get some really useful information fast and get back to my day? Because some people don't want to sit here and watch a video about insurance or risk management topics for 10 minutes, which I totally get. That's fine. So this is the introductory video for Cyber Insurance Explained. There's not going to be any bumper. There's not going to be any sort of fancy in and out. We're not going to go all the way into certain subjects. We are going to hit a total of 6 distinct topics within the world of cyber liability insurance, data breach, the sublimits, the coverages inside of a well-structured program, and discuss exactly why we should care about this as business owners, and also some of the things that are very commonly missed in other programs, whether it's an endorsement on a business owner's policy, or you are with a captive carrier that has simply limited options for this line of coverage. In a more global sense, they simply don't have the options that you need as a business owner, as a real estate investor. So we're going to jump right into the conversation here. And just so you know what we're talking about, I'm just going to read from my list here. This series, this playlist on our channel is going to cover the following topics. Whether it is a reimbursement policy or a paid on behalf of. Very big difference as far as money coming out of your pocket. First party coverage versus only third party coverage. Someone else is getting the money and you're simply being reimbursed for money that has to go out to a third party based on cyber event or data breach of some kind. Then we're going to talk about ransom coverage and cyber extortion on one of these little 2-minute hits. We're going to talk about social engineering and fraudulent transfer on the next one. And then we're going to get into important coverages that are often either left out of competitors' policies, or they simply have very small limits of coverage where they're on the policy, but the coverage is insufficient in my professional opinion. And lastly, we're going to very briefly touch on the importance of a crime insurance policy. Crime being a nice little complement to cyber liability and data breach coverage for your business. So stick around, check out video number 2. We're going to get into that here in just a moment. Okay, so why should you care about cyber liability and data breach protection? Why does it matter? Very simply, these things are not the concern of big business. We're not talking about the Targets and the Capital Ones and the Experian of the world that are huge companies that have been in the news for having a data breach or a ransomware or a cyber attack where there was a problem for them and their clients and customers. The FBI has estimated that there were 800,000 cyber incidents in the US alone in 2020. And the alarming statistic for me is more than 30% of those incidences were perpetrated against small business owners. People like you and me watching this video right now. Now, this is not just a small event because we're talking about potentially an existential sort of crisis. The average expense of one of these cyber incidences is $416,000. $5,000. And you might be thinking, oh, hold on a second, that's a really big number, especially for a small business that may only have, a few hundred or a few thousand unique records in their system. Because one of the big things that we are concerned about as risk managers, as insurance representation for our clients, is not just the actual clients, because when you have a data breach, all of your records are exposed or dangerous, potentially exposed. So whether someone's records were taken or not, you still have to notify them. You still have to provide credit monitoring for them for a certain period of time. You're still going to have a lot of these expenses for regulatory fines and penalties, whether you know for sure that data was taken or not. You're going to have a lot of expenses on forensic investigation, digital forensics as it's commonly referred to. So when we look at how to prepare, how to plan for a potential future cyber event, we're talking about things like credit monitoring, forensics, incident response counsel or consulting, legal advice, PR, reputation management, crisis response, and system restoration, and indirect expenses, including lost business income. All of these things are wrapped up in the total expense of an average cyber event. So, as we end this first video of our series, this is the more high-level introductory why should you care. Go ahead and watch the next video that's going to be talking specifically about certain coverage items that need to be in your program that are often missed. So we'll go ahead and wrap this video and hit the next one. Thanks for watching. Life is risky. Risk well. We'll see you soon. All right, thanks for joining us for our second video in our Cyber Insurance Explained series here with RiskWell. I'm your host for this little adventure, James Jenkins. Thank you for watching. In this quick hits video, we're going to discuss a very important distinction of any cyber insurance program, and that is exactly what happens when there is a claim. There's two big distinctions, two options as far as how your policy pays out. When you look at the options that are delivered on an endorsement for a business owner's policy, commonly referred to as a BOP policy, if you have a captive insurance carrier, your Farmers, State Farms, Allstate, AAA's, Amicas, etc., whoever you're getting your business insurance from, it's almost certainly going to be on an endorsement. Now, the problem with these endorsement coverages, and they're almost always a reimbursement style of coverage, meaning that you, as the policy holder, are responsible for paying the full amount of the damages and then seeking reimbursement from your carrier. The policies that we deliver to the marketplace are very different from that. They are pay on behalf of, meaning that your insurance company is not letting you pay the money and then reimbursing you. They are the ones stroking the check to begin with. It is pay on behalf of. A very big, important distinction when you are looking at the cyber coverage. It's not just the coverage on paper. It's what happens when a claim is filed. Who is paying first? Are you stuck paying the bill and waiting for reimbursement, or is someone else stroking that check for you? Big difference. Thanks for watching the second video in our Cyber Insurance Explained series here at RiskWell. Catch video 3 in our playlist, and we'll see you soon. Life is risky. Risk well. Hey folks, thanks for joining us on this third video of our series here, Cyber Insurance Explained. I'm your host, James Jenkins. Thank you for coming along this journey. I don't know if you're just sitting here and watching all of these videos back to back, or you're coming in and popping and grabbing something that is specific for your needs. All these videos are going to be 2 minutes or less, so I'm just going to jump right in. Our topic for this video is the importance of first-party coverage and third-party coverage on your policy. Most of the options out there in the marketplace that are package endorsements for cyber liability and data breach, they're always going to be third-party coverage heavy. They're going to have the cyber liability, the coverage going out to another party for damages incurred to your clients, your customers, your vendors, if there's been a breach event in your system. The importance of first-party coverage is legal defense, system restoration, business expense for your business for any downtime. These first-party coverages are extensive, and most of the time they are missing, or they're a very small sub-limit of dollars available to you to help you and your business get back on track, or reimburse you for lost income because of a cyber event, a data breach event. So when you're looking at your cyber insurance, make sure you have the first-party insuring agreement in addition to the third-party insuring agreement, because a lot of policies offer third-party coverage. Only the good ones offer first-party coverage. When you look at the top 10 companies in the US for cyber liability and data breach coverage, RiskWell represents 9 of the top 10. So make sure you're working with someone who knows what they're doing and has the resources to get it done. That's it for this third video in our series. Check out the next one, and thanks for watching. Life is risky. Risk well. Hey folks, thanks for joining us in this fourth video in our series on Cyber Insurance Explained. I'm your host, James Jenkins. In this video, we're going to be talking about ransomware, cyber extortion, and social engineering fraudulent transfer. This is part of our series, so be sure and go back and catch the first 3 if you so choose. And we're going to be having 2 more videos after this to round out our series. Every video, 2 minutes or less. We're just going to jump straight into the content. When we talk about things that are often missed in a common cyber policy or endorsement coverage, if a cyber is just rolled into the business owner's policy, it's very important that we are looking at a standalone cyber insurance policy, because it's going to be full featured and give you all the limits of coverage that you need to have everything from all the common occurrences covered. In this video, we're talking about extortion and ransom and all of those sorts of bad actors coming in and holding your data hostage or threatening you in some way. Now, this part of the policy, this coverage, is one of the only items that is paid out on a reimbursement basis, because the insurance company realizes that there may be an urgency, an immediacy to your needs if you're in a situation where you've got, ransomware on your computer, you've been contacted by a bad actor, or there is a fraudulent transfer of a phishing attack of something. Someone in your company sent money to someone they shouldn't have sent it to. Those types of situations potentially are going to be a reimbursement strategy from the insurance company, because you need to make that payment immediately. So when you're looking at the coverage in your policy, you want to make sure that you have these coverages for ransomware, for cyber extortion, for social engineering, where someone on your team is tricked into sending money somewhere they shouldn't have sent it. And then also the fraudulent transfer, where if money was brought out of your system by human error, someone on your team. If that's not on your policy, you need to be getting with RiskWell to make sure that you are properly protected, because we represent 9 of the top 10 cyber insurance carriers in the US. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Catch our next video in the series. It's right here on the playlist on our website or our YouTube channel. Life is risky. Risk well. Thanks for watching. Hey folks, thanks for checking out video number 5 in our series of Cyber Insurance Explained here at RiskWell. I'm your host, James Jenkins. I really appreciate you checking us out for this. I could not feel more strongly about the importance of this subject for our current and future clients, because man, there is a lot of exposure out there, especially in a post-COVID world when people are working remotely. All the different vectors to threats to your business are more complex than ever before. In this quick video, we're going to talk about the important coverages that are often missing from a cyber liability policy or endorsement, and the really small coverage limits. Specifically, I'm talking about first-party coverages in this video for notification expenses. Now, you may not realize this, but if you have a confirmed or even a potential breach event in your system where you don't know exactly what happened, whether someone got in and got data that didn't belong to them, personal protected information, PPI as it's commonly called, you have federally and state mandated notification expenses, as well as responsibilities for your clients and prospects who you have their information, including credit reporting, and you may be facing regulatory fines and penalties. And I don't know if you've ever had to deal with this before, but each one of those notifications has to go out by US certified mail, and you have to provide active credit monitoring for those people for a certain period of time. I believe it is currently 12 months plus or minus at your expense if it's not picked up by your insurance program. And the last thing we'll talk about here is the legal fees that are in relation to these first-party coverages, notification expenses, and anything else that goes into the whole regulatory defense sort of thing. Your policy may not protect you from these things. If you want to have a cyber insurance review, you know where to find us here at RiskWell. You're watching this video, so I'm going to guess that you probably know how to get a hold of us. That's right there on the screen. So that's it for this video in our Cyber Insurance Explained series. Check us out for the last video that's coming up next. I'm recording all of these at the same time, but delivering them to you in bite-sized pieces. Thanks for watching. Life is risky. Risk well. Hey folks, thanks for checking out our series on Cyber Insurance Explained. This is the RiskWell YouTube channel or website, depending on where you are watching this video, and I'm your host, James Jenkins. We appreciate you checking out the various videos we have here. It's probably 6 or 7, I think is what it ends up being here. So in this last video of the series, I'm going to have a little bow on top and preview the next thing we're going to be putting out for you guys to help you be empowered to make smart decisions and better protect your business or your portfolio, depending on where you are in the client space and what kind of business or operation you're running. The things we talked about in this series so far has been first and third party coverages, system restoration and legal fees for your business, lost business income if you have a cyber event or a data breach. We've also talked about a lot of third party coverages as well for legal fees, for credit monitoring, for notification expenses, regulatory fines and penalties. We've talked about fraudulent transfer where someone gets your team member to send money somewhere they shouldn't be, extortion, and ransomware has also been discussed here. All of these topics are very important and they're complex. A lot of the insurance programs you see out there do not provide sufficient or any coverage on some of these items. So make sure that you are getting a full review of all of your unique business insurance needs. RiskWell represents 9 of the top 10 cyber insurance companies in the US. So very important there, and we are extremely well equipped to handle whatever your needs might be in this arena. Lastly, I want to bring up one little thing for the next video, and that is the topic of crime insurance. All the things we've talked about in cyber liability and data breach insurance are the actions of another party, a bad actor outside of your operation, someone who is committing a fraud or a crime or in some way doing something that they shouldn't be doing, but they're another party, someone else. The crime insurance policy covers the intentional actions of one of your employees or your subcontractors where it is in-house, the bad actor. So that's an entirely separate insuring agreement that is an entirely separate coverage. If the bad actor is inside your organization, either as an employee, potentially an officer of your company or a subcontractor, it's not going to be covered by cyber liability and data breach policy. It needs to be covered by a crime insurance policy. So check out the next video we have talking about that and how RiskWell can protect you from the crime exposure. Again, thanks for watching our series on cyber liability and data breach, Cyber Insurance Explained. Get a hold of us if you have any questions about this. We're happy to help you with it. As always, I'm your host, James Jenkins. And please remember, folks, life is risky. Risk well. Talk to you soon.